The National Parks Service doesn't want you to push your slow friend at the bear. China is using men to model lingerie online, and drug companies in Canada can begin making and selling cocaine, heroin, and other drugs. These are the weird stories for Monday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian in a Los Angeles closet. Let's get into the weird news from around the world for you, for all of you. Thanks for joining. The National Parks Service says that sacrificing your slower friend is not the way to escape bears. That sounds exactly like what a slow person would say. As the snow melts and the spring approaches, I know it doesn't feel like spring is approaching because the snow really isn't melting, but they're saying that in this article. Let's pretend that it is. It says, as the snow melts, the bears get more active. So eventually these bears are going to get active. What do they mean by active? Let's learn a little bit about bear safety. The National Park Service is sharing some sage bear safety advice. They wrote in a tweet, if you come across a bear, never push a slower friend down, even if you feel the friendship has run its course. I like how they have a sense of humor about this, and perhaps it's good advice, maybe? I'm not sure. I'm a little skeptical because if your friend is slower, do you really need to push them? On the other hand, if your friend is faster, you may want to trip them. Because you need a nice push. You need a slight advantage if the friend is faster than yours. And what if it's not a friend? What if it's an acquaintance or your park guide of some sort? The National Parks Service shared these great bear safety tips, which I'll run through a few of them in a minute. But the people that engage with their tweet, which is about 20,000 retweets and 150,000 likes, they seem more interested in the joke about pushing your slower friend into harm's way, of course, because humor is something we all love above and beyond most things. So if you're going to send a message out there, you can do better with humor. Comedy gets you a long way. I mean, I wouldn't know I heard that it does. I'm trying it in this closet. It's hit or miss, it seems, from the feedback I'm getting. Now, some people tweeted some funny stuff. Someone wrote, it's a good idea to check in on the friendship before you head out into the woods. just sort of find out what kind of friendship is this? Do you consider me a friend? Because I'm not sure I consider you a friend, and we might encounter a bear. So I might dump honey on you and run away. Now, they're saying here, in fact, if you do come face to face with a bear, you really shouldn't run at all, it says. That includes pushing your slower friend toward the bear and making a break for it. That's because they'll act like dogs and chase fleeing animals. Bears will chase fleeing animals. But this myth about lying down and playing dead in front of a bear, have you heard that one? Just play dead? Sounds like it was made up by a bear. Yeah, just lay down in front of me and don't move. I'll just assume you're dead and walk away. Yeah, I'll walk away. All right, let's run through some of the other tips they have when you encounter a bear. It says, identify yourself as a human. Oh, I guess you just show your license? How do you do that? Your passport? It says, you do this by talking calmly and stay where you are. Slowly wave your arms at the bear. The bear may come closer, or it might stand on its back legs to get a better look or to smell you, which is usually a sign of curiosity and not aggression. Hard to remember that when the bear standing is 10 feet tall. But you're supposed to be very calm. It says don't scream, don't make any loud or high-pitched noises, since the bear might think it's the sound of a prey animal. They say pick up smaller children. Pick up the smaller children and throw them at the bear. Kidding, doesn't say that. It says pick up the smaller children and make yourself look as big as possible, including moving to higher ground if you can. Stay calm, and remember, most bears do not want to attack you. They usually just want to be left alone. However, they might bluff to avoid an encounter by charging and then turning away at the last second. Yeah, so if you could stand still as the bear's charging towards you, because at the last second it might turn away. Okay. I would love to meet someone that would just stand there while a bear is charging them, just for the off chance that it might do a 180 at the last second. It also says, don't try climbing a tree. Black bears and grizzlies can both climb trees as well. And lastly, it says, never, ever, ever share your cocaine with a bear. We know how that's going to end. Men in China are modeling lingerie wear online. China's live stream shopping scene is a very booming industry that is projected to be worth more than $700 billion this year. The industry is said to account for 10% of the country's commercial revenue. Live streams featuring females modeling lingerie have had a history of being shut down and banned as a result of China's law against spreading obscene material online. Well, in order to work around this ban on women modeling in lingerie online, some businesses have recently started hiring male models to wear women's lingerie. Yes, I'm going to repeat that. Some businesses are hiring male models to flaunt women's lingerie online. Now, I'm looking at a photo of these Chinese men wearing women's lingerie. They're doing it very seriously, too. Good job, China. Do you want your fertility rate to go even lower? This will do it. Okay, so we have here, some of these citizens are amused by this attempt at dodging the loophole. Some people are commenting on video clips saying such things as, well, I got to say the guys are wearing it better than the girls. Others are saying that you should do away with this and use mannequins as an alternative to accurately modeling lingerie. Yeah, mannequins would be a better choice. Perhaps even robots, right? You have sex robots over there in China. Just put the lingerie on them and have them, bounce around a little bit or whatever robots are capable of doing. I think they can dance now, right? Have them dance in lingerie, these robots. Let's keep reading. We have here people also complaining about this trend is depriving the women of job opportunities as well, and that is true. Someone wrote, if it's a female model, the live stream would be banned every other minute. It's not like this hasn't happened before. This is still depriving a group of women of their job opportunities. Male broadcasters modeling traditionally female products are in fact not new to the scene in China. One of the industry's most popular lipstick models, Austin Lee Jiaqi, is male and even dubbed, quote, the lipstick king in China by the fans. Here's a quote from the owner of one of these live stream businesses. Personally, we don't really have a choice. The designs can't be modeled by our female colleagues, unfortunately, so we use our male colleagues to model it. And of course, you got some men doing it who enjoy it. There's a 41-year-old businessman named Wu Nan who has a username Uncle Wu who wears high heels. He's gone viral for his videos in which he's running and jumping in high heels to demonstrate their high quality. I love this. Uncle Wu who wears high heels. Well, if you don't mind going viral, dressing in drag, I suppose this is okay, right? It's now the Drag Show Shopping Network. They should just change it to that. By the way, you should know this would be completely illegal in the U.S. In certain places. It'd be considered a felony, like Tennessee, who just made it illegal to be in drag. I'd love to know what they think about Uncle Wu who wears high heels. Well, I mean, can the world get any more strange? On the one hand, you got a place where they believe if a biological male puts on a dress that the children are all going to go to hell. And then you got another place where they say, no, we can't show even the bare shoulder skin of a woman. Otherwise, we're all going to hell as well. I mean, it's so ridiculous, man. And in both of these instances, you have governments deciding what they think is best for us, what they think we can and cannot handle. Meanwhile, have you seen the rest of the internet? I mean, have you listened to Weird AF News? Just a couple episodes. Yeah, I think we can handle a biological man wearing a wig. I also think we can handle a little bit of cleavage on a home shopping network as well. That's just my opinion. Maybe you disagree. Call the show, 646-450-2012. You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast Too difficult? No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Yay! Drug companies in Canada can legally start selling cocaine, heroin, and MDMA. A Canadian weed company and a psychedelics company have received government licenses to make and distribute the drugs under certain circumstances. Oh, I would like to know what these circumstances are. Perhaps I should plan my birthday vacation in Canada. It's my birthday. Is that covered under your certain circumstances? Can I please get some MDMA and other party favors? No. I don't condone taking hard drugs, and neither does Weird AF News, all right? Let me be very clear about that before I get canceled and removed from my little cozy closet. Let's learn a little bit about what's going on up in British Columbia. At least 2 companies say they've received exemptions from the federal government, allowing them to produce and distribute cocaine, heroin, MDMA, and magic mushrooms. It's not clear under what circumstances these companies will be able to sell the drugs. According to British Columbia Premier David Eby, who claims he's, quote, astonished to hear the announcement. Yeah, I'd like to know under what circumstances as well. Perhaps for medical reasons, but then you know, they do that at hospitals, don't they? Okay, it says here on Thursday, Sunshine Earth Labs, a psychedelics manufacturer, announced that Health Canada, a government agency, is allowing their company to legally produce and distribute the coca leaf and cocaine. The coca leaf and the cocaine. So I don't know of anybody who chews coca leaf in the U.S. Very common in South America to chew coca leaf. It says here also they're able to distribute MDMA, opium, morphine, heroin, and psilocybin, which is the active ingredient in mushrooms. The company says it plans to bring a safer supply of drugs to the global market. Oh, great. I definitely support safe drugs on the global market. Too many people are overdosing on drugs they think are safe, but are not. They get a little surprise, and that's not great at all for anybody. It says here, the other company is a cannabis extractions company called Adastra. They announced they are also now legally allowed to produce and distribute psilocybin and cocaine. Now, in a statement to the media, Health Canada says these companies will not be able to sell the substances to the public and that the licenses are for scientific and medical purposes. Oh, man, they should have told me that up top because I wouldn't have gone into the story. It's not even weird anymore. These are just companies that are making it for scientific and medical purposes. We got no hand in this, guys. The public can't get access to these great drugs. I mean, we shouldn't, right? We shouldn't. We should just do the coffee. But I don't know, if you happen to be in Canada, you know, they're doing some drug criminalization up there that you don't see down here in the States. The end of January, they began a 3-year drug criminalization pilot program allowing people to possess up to 2.5 grams of certain drugs, such as heroin and cocaine, without the fear of arrest. Well, you know, this pilot program's only been underway for a few months, but I wonder how it's going up there. I have a lot of listeners in Canada. Maybe you might have some information or some clarification for the listeners here on this situation. Do you yourself now feel safe carrying your 2.3 grams of cocaine on your person when you're going to a party? Is that even happening up there? Is it common? What's going on? I want to learn. We all want to learn. Yay!
This episode is sponsored by Custom Ink. Custom Ink brings people together with custom gear, from employees and customers to teammates and friends. At their easy-to-use website, you can create personalized custom gear, including water bottles, backpacks, polos, jackets, and so much more. And it's all backed by a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Get started today. Visit customink.com. That's customink.com.
Well, thank you for spending a little time with the Weird AF News podcast. I hope you had a lovely weekend and that you enjoyed the Florida Friday story that we put out on Friday. If you haven't listened to that, go back one episode. It should be there and available digitally for free for you, for your enjoyment. And by the way, just big thanks to everyone who sent me Florida stories. leading up to that. Very helpful. Got a lot of correspondence over the weekend, too. A lot of shout-outs, and I appreciate that very, very much. I'm glad you enjoyed the episode. I got a nice review that was written for me by Cashley72 on Amazon. Cashley72 gave me 5 stars. I love that 5-star review. Oh, amazing. That makes me happy. The title is Laughs, Shock, and Amazement. Cashley writes, "This is the best part of my flash news brief each day. Absolutely love starting my day with a few good laughs and a little shock and amazement." Very, very short, right to the point, very brief, very complimentary, very loving. That's the kind of review that I love. Thank you, Cashley72. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. That helps tremendously because a lot of people write some negative, nasty things on Amazon for some reason. I'm not sure. They have a problem with my podcast, and which is unfortunate. You know what that means, though? That means they have a problem. I certainly don't. Anyways, if you guys love the show and you want to write a nice review, I welcome it. You can do it on Amazon. You can do it on Apple Podcasts and some other places, I'm sure. If you do so and you'd like to give me a shout out, just do a screenshot and email it to me, funnyjones@gmail.com. That makes it easier for me because I can't find these reviews sometimes. There's so many platforms. It's tough to keep up with this sort of thing. Anyways, what else was I going to say? Oh, if you'd like to support the show, tell a friend about Weird AF News. How about that? That doesn't cost you anything. Just a few words out of your mouth just to tell a friend. Or you could share it online as well. I don't know how you do that, but you could share it. A lot of these podcast players that you're listening to, you can share it. I know on Spotify you could share it in your Instagram stories, that sort of thing. Please consider doing that. It doesn't take too much time to pump out Weird AF News. Let's get the word out there, because if you enjoy it, then no doubt some of your friends and relatives and whatnot would enjoy it as well. Some of your fellow inmates, your drug dealer maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you're into. I don't know the circles you hang in, but if you enjoy it, I think people that are like-minded that that you hang out with might also enjoy it. So spread it around. Doesn't cost you a damn thing. Or don't. Just listen. I appreciate it when you listen as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.